It is said that there was a time when the earth glowed with the light and fire of the jinn. Cities carved into stone were not just legends. Before Adam, peace be upon him, this was their reality. The world was not only inhabited, it was ruled, and its rulers were not silent shepherds. They were beings made of fire, kings with long lifespans. They used their powers to disappear, to fly, and to whisper into the hearts of other creatures. Today, their cities have vanished, but their traces may still lie buried beneath ruins that humans cannot understand. Among them rose kings who refused to bow to Allah. They demanded worship for themselves, erected idols, recited magical incantations, and controlled others through fear. Magic became a commodity, and rituals were performed in hidden chambers. Some claimed they could open doors that should never be opened, and forbidden knowledge began to be sold to the highest bidder. They enslaved weaker tribes, turning them into soldiers and servants, while the righteous jinn who remembered their Lord were forced into hiding, driven away from lands that were once their home. So how did this facade, corruption, begin? What sparked such a rebellion, so powerful and destructive that even the angels feared its return? To understand this, we must first understand how these fire-born beings fell, and how one jinn, once honored in the heavens, became the greatest enemy of humanity. According to Islamic scholars, jinns spoke different languages just like humans. Their cities were beyond imagination, existing in dimensions different from our own. They were created from a form of energy like fire, without physical weight as we know it. Some remained obedient and devoted to worship, quiet, righteous, and faithful, but others became self-absorbed. They saw their own power and fell in love with it. They misunderstood their freedom, grew jealous of the angels, and questioned why they were not raised to the heavens. Their hearts darkened. Like humans, they began to believe they would live forever. Conflicts broke out between tribes and civilizations. Leaders became tyrants. Amid this chaos, a figure emerged, Azazel. He possessed immense strength and deep devotion. While his people descended into facade, he rose in obedience. He refused to join the rebellion and stood alongside the angels, earning honor and status. But why was Azazel different, and how did his story take such a dark turn? When the jinn spread corruption, enslaving others, practicing magic, and defying Allah, the world turned into a battlefield of ego and desire. Allah was not unaware. The angels observed silently until the command came. The earth would witness a war unlike any before, the war between beings of fire and the armies of light. At the center of this conflict stood Azazel. He saw his people drowning in sin, and his heart filled with anger, and something else, the desire to prove himself. He wanted to show that a being of fire could be loyal. He prepared to fight against his own kind. Azazel was not an angel. He had free will and chose worship willingly. He excelled not only in devotion, but also in knowledge and recognition of Allah. It was even said he taught angels. This elevated him, but also made him vulnerable. Slowly, he began to admire his own ibadat, worship. When angels looked up to him, pride began to take root in his heart. Allah commanded him to lead the angels against the rebellious jinn. A massive army descended upon the earth. The battle was immense, fire clashing with light, mountains shattered, oceans boiled, and the earth trembled. Azazel fought fiercely, calling upon Allah with every strike. Cities fell, tyrants were destroyed, and the Arbas, earth, was purified. The surviving jinn were driven into hidden realms, beyond human sight. The angels returned to the heavens, but Azazel remained. He was praised and honored. He believed he had reached the highest maqam, status. But he did not know a new creation was coming. Allah announced the creation of a new being, a Khalifa, vice-regent, on earth, made not of light or fire, but of clay. The angels questioned, not out of defiance, but from what they had witnessed before. "Will you place in it one who will cause corruption and shed blood?" Allah replied, "I know what you do not know." Clay was gathered from different parts of the earth, soft, hard, dark, light, forming the diversity of human nature. A body was shaped, lifeless at first. Azazel observed it, even entering its hollow form, studying its weaknesses. He thought, "This fragile being will fail, and one day, I will mislead it." Then came the moment. Allah breathed ruh, soul, into the body. It came to life. This was Adam, peace be upon him, the first human, created directly by Allah. Then came the command that would echo forever. Prostrate to Adam.
The angels obeyed instantly, but Azazel refused. Filled with arrogance, he said, "I am better than him. You created me from fire and him from clay." This was the first act of pride, the first false sense of superiority. Allah commanded, "Get out. You are rejected. My curse is upon you until the day of judgment." Azazel asked for respite until the final day, and it was granted. Then he declared his mission, to mislead humanity from every direction. He could have repented, but he chose pride. And so, Azazel became Iblis, the cursed one, cast away from mercy forever.